Right now on NBC Boston News at 7, police are looking for an escaped prisoner considered armed and dangerous. We have exclusive information about that search.
And a close call for a baby in Methuen, the powerful narcotic that sent her to the hospital.
Plus, the chilling account of an American who lived through that deadly Turkish nightclub attack, how he says he survived.
This is NBC Boston News at 7.
And we begin tonight with that ongoing search for an escaped prisoner. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff.
And I'm Joy Lim-Nakran. Thanks so much for being with us here on NBC Boston News at 7 o'clock. That escaped prisoner is considered armed and very, very dangerous. Take a good look at this newly released mugshot of James Morales, a man with a stunning criminal record, including charges of raping a child. 2 prison workers are on leave tonight as the search for him heats up. And now officials are focusing on Framingham, where they found the car they believe that he stole. NBC Boston's Perry Russum has exclusive details.
This is video you will only see on NBC Boston. Federal and state officers searching for the escaped prisoner, James Morales, in Framingham.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, especially when you live here with kids. It's not comforting.
A police source telling us this is where Morales' ex-girlfriend lives, and the car he stole was found empty only a block away.
So yeah, I am nervous because I have no idea what his relationship was to the neighbors next door. I don't know if he was affiliated with a woman that lives there.
Morales has been on the run since New Year's Eve, escaping from the Wyatt Detention Center in Central Falls, Rhode Island.
He was working his way to somewhere.
The first inmate to escape from the high-security prison in more than 20 years, climbing the razor wire fence, stealing a car in Attleboro. State police remain quiet on the investigation, saying they can't give out specific steps for tactical reasons.
I just hope that they, catch the guy before he does any harm to anybody else. That's it.
New information coming in from the prison warden. He says Morales pulled his way up on a basketball hoop, went rooftop to rooftop, and then cut his way through a fence on his way to freedom. In Framingham, Perry Russum, NBC Boston.
All right, Perry, thank you. A little more than an hour ago, NBC's Sky Ranger was over the scene of a horse rescue in Templeton. This was pretty tense for quite some time. After it fell through the ice there was a pretty big response because of it to make sure that horse was all right. The crane was brought in to hoist the horse up to safety. Crews were able to get him some warming blankets. Fortunately, he's back on his feet and appears to be doing okay. Following up on that huge fire in Holyoke, a third person has died now because of it. Flames broke out yesterday morning at a multifamily home on Northeast Street. Several other people were hurt and more than 24 families have been displaced because of it. The third victim has not yet been identified.
And a major drug bust in Methuen, over $1 million worth of fentanyl found. Now, police made this discovery when they were responding to a call of a man in a cab holding a gun. So they stopped that cab on Glen Avenue this morning, and inside they found 15 bags of opioids. Police say the suspect is a man from New York named Robinson Rojas Rosario. They did not, however, find a gun.
That $1 million drug bust, just one of the problems highlighting how dangerous the opioid problem is in Methuen. A baby girl actually became the victim of a drug crisis there. She somehow became exposed to fentanyl and nearly lost her life. NBC Boston's Alicia Rodriguez has details on that investigation.
Brought back to life twice.
The baby coded and was resuscitated by hospital staff on 2 occasions.
A 10-month-old baby girl ingested fentanyl, a potentially deadly drug often used to cut heroin. The investigation now intensifying into how a child so small could have been exposed to this powerful narcotic.
Trace amounts on an individual that small could prove to be deadly.
Methuen police were called to this upscale neighborhood to a home on Treetop Way Saturday afternoon for a baby having trouble breathing. She was taken to Lawrence General Hospital, then med-flighted to Tufts Medical Center in Boston. Tests there proved she did have fentanyl in her system. Investigators at her home took several items as evidence, including drug paraphernalia found in her mother's car. They won't say what else they found, but do say criminal charges are possible. The baby is expected to recover.
It's very difficult to deal with a young child who has become a victim in that aspect. So.
The baby's family is cooperating with police on this investigation that now involves state police, the DA's office, as well as DCF. Reporting in Methuen, Alicia Rodriguez, NBC Boston.
Thanks a lot, Alicia. And a man facing a judge tomorrow for his 5th OUI. Take a look at this video from the State Police Air Wing. Police say that the white figure that you see there, that's John Layton. Well, troopers arrested him on Saturday after they found a crashed car abandoned on the Route 25 ramp in Wareham. In addition to OUI, this man is now charged with larceny and also driving with a revoked license.
It was pretty warm out there today, but rain, as we can see from the 10-day, is approaching.
Yeah, meteorologist Pete Bouchard with the latest forecast. So a little rain, little snow, all kinds of things this week, huh?
Yeah, we have some rain, mostly out of this storm, though, Joy. We had a couple of snow showers trying to pop up across Connecticut. Now we're seeing these actually start to form in western Mass as small flakes and small little bursts of snow. I think this will actually come east as maybe some sprinkles later tonight or a quick shower. You can see that a little bit better on radar out through Springfield and Westfield right now. Pittsfield is dry. Worcester's dry for now, Boston too, but our temperatures hold in those mid and upper 30s through the night. Where they are now is pretty much where they stay through the rest of the night. So I'm not worried about accumulation. If we do see flakes, I think that'd be greater Worcester and up along Route 2. Our temps tonight falling back from 40 into the mid 30s around greater Boston, and by morning we should be holding near that value too. A lot of clouds, very little action in the way of storminess. We're 42 right now on the North Shore through Salem. Rochester, one of the spots, is cooling off up in New Hampshire. Plymouth at 40, Worcester at 32 degrees. So this rain that moves in, is it heavy? You bet. And it's coming during the evening drive. We have the amounts, the track on this storm, and a look at some colder weather late week. Stay tuned.
Sounds good, Pete. All right, want to turn to the Patriots now. They're sitting pretty as they're heading into the playoffs. They've secured both a first-round bye and also home field advantage.
Raul Martinez joins us live from Gillette Stadium with more on their path to the Super Bowl. Hey, Raul.
Yeah, guys, this week right here is huge for the Patriots. They don't have to focus on an opponent just yet. And those possible opponents, well, they'll be beating each other up this weekend. Oh, by the way, the Patriots are home for the divisional round. That's a week from Saturday, right here at 8:15 p.m. And how about this? One of their possible opponents is a team they beat yesterday to clinch the 1 seed. If Miami beats Pittsburgh this Sunday in an upset, the Dolphins would come to Gillette. If they don't, then it's the winner of Oakland and Houston. The Patriots have won 7 in a row. They are coming into the postseason on fire. But Matthew Slater says they aren't done yet.
Certainly hope that our best is yet to come. We're playing obviously well. I mean, you go 14-2, you're doing a lot of things well, and you've had a lot of breaks as well. So hopefully we can continue that trend moving forward and peak at the right time.
So the Patriots will have some light practices this week and a lot of film study. This will be more mental than physical. By the way, this is the 6th time the Patriots have earned the 1 seed, all under Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They made the Super Bowl 4 of those times. They're hoping this is lucky number 5. We're live in Foxborough. I'm Raul Martinez, NBC Boston.
Yeah, at that point, you need another hand for that ring, Raul. Thanks. Tickets for the AFC Divisional Playoff game go on sale this Friday, and we thought you might want to show your Patriots pride. You can share your favorite moments from this season with us right now. Tweet us at NBC Boston. And you can tune into NBC Boston this Saturday for the NFL Wild Card round. The Detroit Lions take on the Seahawks in Seattle. Coverage starts at 8:15.
And we continue to follow developing news overseas. Turkish police say they're now getting closer to pinpointing the gunman behind that deadly nightclub attack. Security cameras captured the gunman shooting his way into the Istanbul club early Sunday morning, killing 39 people, injuring dozens more. And nearly 2/3 of those killed were foreigners. That's according to Turkish media. ISIS has claimed responsibility for this attack, but again, police there say they are closing in on the suspected gunman. Now, one of the people hurt in that attack was an American, and tonight he's opening up about how he managed to survive. Our Chris Emma joining us live from the newsroom now with details. Obviously so terrifying for this man, Chris.
Absolutely, Joy. Yeah, Jake Rock tells NBC News that he played dead during that violence. Rock was the only U.S. citizen hurt in that attack, and he is from the state of Delaware. He was with a group of 9 people at the time of Sunday morning's attack, and he was shot in the hip. He has since been released from the hospital, and today he boarded an airplane bound for the U.S. Rock says that he empathizes with the Turkish people.
This is a very good country, and it's so unfortunate that this is happening to you guys, and I really feel for everybody here. For me, I wake up in the United States, I eat breakfast. You guys wake up and have to think of this. It's so sad, and I really wish everybody here the best. I've only met very good people.
Certainly lucky there to escape with his life. Now, 8 people have been detained as part of the investigation, but again, that gunman is still on the loose. Live from the newsroom, Chris Emma, NBC Boston.
All right, Chris, thank you. And just ahead on NBC Boston News at 7, vandalism found at a Cape Cod cemetery. What police say was spray painted on several tombstones.
Also, Massachusetts officials with a new proposal for medical marijuana, how it could affect patients and those who care for them.
Welcome back, everyone, to NBC Boston News at 7. Some disturbing allegations on the Cape.
Yeah, absolutely. Anti-Semitic, hateful vandalism on cemetery tombstones. Our Jonathan Cho has the story from Barnstable.
I don't know where the respect is going anymore.
Paul Bouvier lives right behind Oak Grove Cemetery and wants to know what motivates these vandals.
What will they get out of this?
Police say they found 6 headstones with graffiti, 2 others knocked over. All this happening in the past week. Some of the crude messages, anti-Semitic, targeting Barnstable police and referencing the devil.
Some of the words that were written on these tombstones we probably should not say on the air.
Investigators spent the morning collecting evidence in the backside of the cemetery, here on C Street. The graffiti was first reported by a man walking through last Tuesday, and the damaged headstones were discovered by a maintenance worker this morning.
Drug deals, there's a lot of things go down back there.
Neighbor Pinckney Mathis says vandals have struck the cemetery before.
Big, open, dark place at night. What are you going to do?
Investigators say a spray paint can and a red fire extinguisher were left behind. They have no suspects. From Barnstable, Jonathan Cho, NBC Boston.
Following up now on that devastating fire at a historic New Hampshire church, the man charged with setting it will face a judge tomorrow. Police say 27-year-old Anthony Boisvert set that fire, which completely destroyed a Lebanon, New Hampshire church that was built in the 1800s. They believe he also set 2 other fires and even stabbed 2 people. Well, now he's due in court on 3 counts of arson and several other charges.
Fire officials say the cause of an early morning fire in Oxford was electrical. The flames broke out around 2 a.m. at a hair salon and also an attached apartment, all on Main Street. The woman who lives inside said a perfect stranger started banging on her door, throwing rocks at her window just to wake her up. Everyone was able to make it out safely. Some firefighters who responded, though, had a scare as they became disoriented, issuing a mayday call, but fortunately, they were able to get out safely, too. To Northborough, where a home is a total loss after crews battled a major fire this morning. Take a look at the pictures. Our Sky Ranger helicopter captured this video from over the scene on Crestwood Drive. You could see smoke and flames pouring out of the windows of that home. 2 people were there at the time, but they were not hurt.
And in Lynn tonight, dozens of people still out of their homes after a massive fire on New Year's Day. Well, now the Red Cross is trying to help, but they might not have the resources. So now they are asking for help too. Our Alicia Palumbo explains.
I've never seen this kind of support.
Donations poured into the Lynn Museum Lynn Arts Building Monday to help out Nicole Coman and more than 60 of her neighbors displaced by this 5-alarm fire on West Baltimore Street in Lynn Sunday. They all get out safely, but the need now is great.
We don't have nothing right now. We lose everything we have.
Brothers McLeo and Bill Tulo and their 2 daughters spent the night at this Red Cross shelter inside Lynn Classical High School.
What better than this than sleeping outside in the street, a cold place? It's way better than us being outside.
The big thing people are working on now is making sure that these folks have transitional housing and then ultimately permanent housing.
But with so many large fires over the past few weeks in Cambridge, Methuen, Charlestown, and elsewhere, Red Cross donations have been spread very thin.
These disasters really happen every single day around the state, and our volunteers are out there. And it's the donations that people make to the Red Cross that helps get these people that are affected by these home fires and disasters back on their feet.
And that help means the world to these fire victims.
I'm blown away. I don't think it's hit me yet that I lost everything, because I just see so much love and people here willing to help me.
When we ran into the governor and his wife Monday afternoon, they were dropping off donations for fire victims, but the governor stressed the need to donate directly to the Red Cross.
In Lynn, Alicia Palumbo, NBC Boston.
All right, Alicia, thank you. Senator Elizabeth Warren is proposing better banking access for vendors who do business with pot shops. This includes chemists who test marijuana for harmful substances and firms who provide security for the shops. Warren also says helping marijuana-based businesses move away from a cash-only model will help ensure they're also paying their taxes. And tomorrow in Boston, the public gets to weigh in on a proposed medical marijuana change. State health officials want to allow certified nurse practitioners to approve medical marijuana use for patients. Right now, patients need permission from their doctors before they can register to use pot. Coming up next on NBC Boston News at 7.
Yeah, more dolphins getting stranded on Cape Cod, but it ends well. See how Good Samaritans stepped in to save them.
All right, Joy, our forecast is for rain, but for the time being, it's 40 degrees with an east-southeast wind. That wind gets a little feisty over the forecast period, too. Our storm is down in the deep south. It's coming in. Latest timeline ahead.
Welcome back to NBC Boston News at 7 o'clock.
For the second time in less than a week, a pod of dolphins has been rescued on Cape Cod. Yesterday, 10 dolphins became stranded in Wellfleet Harbor. So volunteers and staff from the International Fund for Animal Welfare spent hours trying to herd the dolphins toward the open seas using boats, one by one, and the animals were put onto stretchers, wheeled to trucks, and then driven to Truro Beach, where they were set free.
Oh, I'm so glad they made it.
Indeed, and it was a relatively warm day today, at least in the Boston area.
I hope we keep it, but meteorologist Pete Bouchard joining us now, and I think you're going to rain on our parade, right?
Well, I'm going to bring in a lot of rain for the evening drive, so I guess I'm the good guy in that respect, or, you know, we're in a drought. I'm kind of
okay, a good way to spin it.
That's the way to look at it.
The song goes, always look on the bright side of things, right? Ramping up the rain. It comes in tomorrow as sprinkles and showers, and then we go over to a steadier rain. Gusty winds accompany this storm, too. This is not going to be a walk in the park in that sense. 50s return by midweek. We just sneak in a mild day before it's pulled back on Thursday and Friday with the cold air coming back to us. Weather Underground exclusive list of temperatures across the area. These are our private weather spotters and observers with their own weather instrumentation. 35 in Woburn right now, Malden at 40, 34 in Andover, but we're 41 in Waltham. What is going on? The temperatures all over the place. Some places have clear skies, we've settled the temperatures back, and others, we're just holding on to some of that warmth we had this afternoon. We're up to, or down to, I should say, about 28 in Rochester, 26 in Concord, New Hampshire, 32 in Worcester. But there's a lot of mild air coming up with this weather system. Everything but the kitchen sink, 63 and 62 from Montgomery to Nashville. So when that low moves in, it just brings that with it, carries along all those goods. We missed out on a lot of the rain showers through Bridgeport and down into Providence. Well, a couple of sprinkles got into Rhode Island, not necessarily Providence, but we're watching this area start to pop up. Watch this, brum, from Kingston all the way over to about Springfield. A snowflake or two, a quick rain shower out of this as it drifts by, but I think this is more or less just kind of the tap on the shoulder before we get into this rain here and this low pressure system. Look at all that heavy wet. We have severe thunderstorm watches up across the deep south. I'm not expecting thunder here, but that just tells me that there's a lot of energy in this big storm system. So when it comes to us, the models hit us hard with the rain. You can see how solid it is with the yellows and the oranges. And then once it passes, which should be late tomorrow night, we get back in a little sliver of sunshine, and that's how we get to 50 degrees on Wednesday. The timeline a little bit more specific now. You can see the shower activity through the morning. Not bad, but then it starts to consolidate, and then it gets heavy. So it wraps up around that low, and by the time we're in the evening drive here at 5 o'clock, it is not pretty at all. Boston to Leominster, out through Providence, and back up into the North Shore, too, all through Danvers and Peabody. Look out, here comes the water. Tomorrow, Revere about 43. Cambridge about 43, same in Weymouth. Not a whole lot to scream about here. Cape Cod may be able to sneak into the 50-degree mark, but from Lowell to about Franklin, temperatures in the lower 40s. This is a raw feel through the Merrimack Valley. These numbers may be a little generous. We could hold in the upper 30s through Lawrence and Lowell, too. And as far as rain is concerned, we get back to that drought. You know, we're kind of hammering that over the last couple of months, but nothing to laugh at here. You know, this is a good soaking coming our way. In some spots, Worcester and Boston closing in on 3/4 of an inch of rain, maybe even more too. One thing the models have a hard time with is heavy rain. So tomorrow's winds at first coming out of the east-northeast, just another windy day in downtown Boston. same old, but then it gets a little fierce here tomorrow night. This is after the heaviest rain moves through, that low will kick up the winds to maybe 50 miles an hour out through Cape Ann and through the South Shore, Scituate to Greater Boston too. Overnight tonight, falling back into the mid-30s, some places a little bit colder than that in the suburbs, with a few sprinkles and a whole lot of clouds. And then tomorrow, about 43, showers turn to a steadier rain. Extended forecast now, the exclusive 10-day forecast, your early warning weather 10-day forecast. Brightening up on Wednesday and Thursday. All that warmth on Wednesday just vanishes by the end of the week. There's a possibility, too, of some snow. There's a coastal system, but it looks like it'll be just far enough that we get a few flakes on Friday and nothing more. Weekend's cold, too. Have a good night.
All right, Pete, thanks. So there were concerns the weather could possibly postpone the Winter Classic today, but the annual outdoor game went off without a hitch, depending on which side you were on. The St. Louis Blues hosted the Blackhawks in a game you saw right here on NBC Boston. Blues ended up beating their division rival thanks to a couple of late third-period goals that put them on top for good. Also today, the 128th annual Rose Parade was held in Pasadena, California. The parade aired right here on NBC Boston as well. Hundreds of thousands of people were in attendance there, and the weather was nice. Parade featured 40 floats, marching bands, and equestrian units. Hey, fun fact. It's a parade rule that all surfaces of the float framework must be covered in natural materials like flowers, plants, seeds, vegetables, nuts, or bark.
I think they all have to have some roses, not completely, but even just a couple in there.
I didn't know there were so many rules.
It's beautiful, though. Still a lot more ahead here on NBC Boston News at 7. The latest Star Wars movie just keeps on winning at the box office. How Rogue One will soon make history.
And then this is a great story. An Arizona couple marks the new year by welcoming twin boys. Why their births, though, are generating headlines tonight.
Welcome back to NBC Boston News at 7 o'clock. The new Star Wars movie still a box office behemoth. Rogue One topping the box office for the third straight weekend now. It raked in an estimated $64.3 million over New Year weekend. Rogue One has grossed about $440 million in North America ever since it opened just last month. And soon, it will even top the original Star Wars on the all-time list. All right, to be fair here, that does not take into account inflation, but still very, very successful. Rogue One ended 2016 as the second biggest release of the year. It is also the 8th movie in the Star Wars franchise, its first spin-off.
This is an amazing story. An Arizona couple had quite the New Year's Eve. Their twin boys were born in different years. Sawyer Shea was born on New Year's Eve at 11:50 in the evening, so he's a 2006 baby. His brother Everett arrived 11 minutes later at 12:01 a.m., so he's a 2017 baby. The boys are fraternal twins, not identical, but both of them are equally beautiful. Congratulations. So herdsmen in China welcomed the arrival of 2017 with a camel relay race.
Nice.
Camels from 8 teams rushed toward the next relays, who were waiting in deep pasture. Their New Year celebration also included a camel beauty contest.
Too bad it wasn't on a Wednesday, right? Talk about a hump day.
Right? Something I thought I'd never say on TV, a camel beauty contest. All camels are beautiful.
They're all beautiful.
That's all for this half hour, everyone. Be sure to join us tonight at 11 for NBC Boston Tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff.
I'm Joy Lim Nacker, and Access Hollywood is next.